Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West, here for another exciting episode of TMG Takes the Field, our weekly show where we talk about mainly football and occasionally other sports. Today is occasionally other sports. We're going to start off again, keeping track of the baseball playoffs. We have moved on to the league championships, both the ALCS and the NLCS. We have the final two matchups before the actual World Series. In the American League, we have the Blue Jays taking on the Mariners. Right now, the Mariners have a 2-0 lead, but there's a game going on right now, and the Blue Jays are winning 12-2. It is the end of the sixth inning, so 3 more left to play. It does look like the Blue Jays will avoid a sweep. Will they avoid elimination? We will see. And then we do also have the Dodgers and Brewers in the NL, the National League. Right now, the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead. And that next game is, I believe, tomorrow. So no news there. Although there was a very exciting play where crazy double play where a guy caught it, but then didn't actually catch it, hit the wall, and then landed back in his glove. But was able to throw the guy running home out. So that was pretty cool, I guess. It was actually kind of cool. I watched like 10 highlights of that play. And then I do have a couple things as far as the NBA goes. The NBA is just starting up. We are currently in their kind of preseason right now. And one big one, Russell Westbrook has agreed to join the Kings for his 18th season. So at one point, Mr. Triple-Double has kind of been a pretty good sixth man. He was with the Nuggets his last tenure. So your next Lights Out trivia match, when it's My Journey, and you have the Thunder, a bunch of teams, and then the Nuggets, and then the Kings, it's Russell Westbrook. But if the Kings aren't on there, I don't know who it is. Next, we do have NCAA football, college football. We had a very exciting week last week. A lot of fun games. Friday, we had South Florida beating North Texas 63-36. And then a bunch of really good games on Saturday. Ohio State beat Illinois 34-16. Indiana beat Oregon 30-20 in a great game. Ole Miss beat Washington 24-21. That was an exciting down to the end game. Texas A&M beat Florida 34-17. Texas beat Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry 23-6. Alabama beat Missouri 27-24. Texas Tech beat Kansas 42-17. Georgia beat Auburn 20-10. LSU beat South Carolina 20-10. Tennessee beat Arkansas 34-31. Georgia Tech beat Virginia Tech 35-20. USC upset Michigan 31-13. Notre Dame beat NC State 36-7. BYU beat Arizona 33-27. That game took 2 overtimes to decide a winner there. Utah upsetting Arizona State 42-10. Colorado upsetting Iowa State 24-17. And then finally Pitt upsetting Florida State 34-31. So we do have some shakeups going on. We have Ohio State still at 1, Miami still at 2, Indiana has moved up to 3, Texas A&M's at 4, Ole Miss has dropped down to 5, Alabama is at 6, Texas Tech is at 7, Oregon's at 8, Georgia's at 9, LSU's at 10, Tennessee's at 11, Georgia Tech's at 12, Notre Dame's at 13, Oklahoma is at 14, BYU is at 15, Missouri is at 16, Vanderbilt's at 17. Virginia's at 18. South Florida's at 19. South Florida is at 19. USC is at 20. Texas is at 21. Memphis is at 22. Utah's at 23. Cincinnati's at 24. And Nebraska is at 25. A couple different teams used to be ranked no more. Michigan, Illinois, Arizona State, Iowa State, and Florida State. All were ranked this previous week, did fall out of ranked contention with their losses. So we'll see if they're able to scratch and claw their way back. Hey, scratch and claw. That'd be a great name for like a debate pay-per-view or something. If you know, you know. But we do have some great games going on this week. A couple games that we'll talk about Friday, and then several games going on Saturday. So the 2 Friday games, we have Miami is hosting Louisville. And then we have Nebraska is traveling to Minnesota. And then Saturday, we do have a ranked versus ranked. LSU is taking on Vanderbilt. Then we have Georgia Tech is traveling to Duke. Oklahoma is traveling to South Carolina. Ohio State's traveling to Wisconsin. Indiana is hosting Michigan State. Texas A&M is traveling to Arkansas. Another ranked versus ranked. Number 5 Ole Miss is traveling to number 9 Georgia. Texas Tech's traveling to Arizona State. Memphis is traveling to UAB. Oregon's traveling to Rutgers. Virginia is hosting Washington State. Texas is traveling to Kentucky. Ranked versus ranked matchup, 2 in a row. Number 6 Alabama is hosting number 11 Tennessee. And number 13 Notre Dame is hosting number 20 USC. South Florida is hosting Florida Atlantic. Missouri is traveling to Auburn. Another ranked versus ranked. Number 23 Utah is traveling to number 16 BYU. And then we have Cincinnati is traveling to Oklahoma State. So a lot of fun games. We're at that point, too, where we're starting to get into the meat of the season. Everyone's playing division opponents. So all of these games matter, especially with conference championships coming up, which will then also lead to the college football playoffs. As far as the NFL season went, we had a pretty crazy week last week. Thursday night, we had the Giants. I'll say it. They embarrassed the Eagles 34-17. Sunday, our London game in a lights out trivia barn burner, as Sarah likes to say. The Broncos beating the Jets 13-11. We had the Steelers beating the Browns 23-9. The Chargers beating the Dolphins in a nail biter 29-27. Patriots beating the Saints 25-19. Rams beat the Ravens 17-3. Colts beat the Cardinals 31-27. Seahawks beat the Jaguars 20-12. Panthers beat the Cowboys 30-27. Raiders beat the Titans 20-10. Buccaneers beat the 49ers 30-19. Packers beat the Bengals 27-18. Chiefs beat the Lions 30-17. And then we did have 2 games Monday night. We had the Falcons beating the Bills 24-14. And then we had the Bears beating the Commanders 25-24. A lot of exciting games, several games that went down to the wire. Last second field goals, couple game-winning drives stopped to be game-sealing defensive stops. And then we did have some breaking news in the NFL season. We had our first head coach firing. Brian Callahan, head coach of the Tennessee Titans, was fired on Monday. I believe offensive coordinator Mike McCoy is stepping in as interim head coach. But also with the Titans, their offensive line coordinator or their offensive line coach was Brian's father, Bill Callahan. He stepped down from the team after news of his son's firing was announced. So they're without their head coach and their offensive line coach. So a lot of question marks in Tennessee. Obviously, the seat of several coaches are also hot right now, but that is the only one that has led to a firing so far. And we'll talk about any more that happen Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock, TMG Entertainment's YouTube page. We do also have some trade talks. Nothing happened over this week. Obviously, we had the Joe Flacco trade last week. We did also have, I believe it was the Jags and Browns swapped cornerbacks. But there are a lot of rumors out there. AJ Brown is one of them. Team's interested in him. Obviously, he's an amazing receiver. Every team should be interested in AJ Brown. But we will definitely talk about any trades that happen. Maybe we'll talk about trades we want to have happen. I don't know. I guess it depends on if I see Tato's face or not. because I don't see it. Trades I want to have happen. Maybe A.J. Brown gets traded for some defensive players. Zadarius Smith retired out of nowhere. So the Eagles are without some defensive pass rush help. He led the team in sacks with 1. That's crazy. But I will go ahead and introduce our normal co-host here, Tato. Tato, how's it going?
Oh, I'm good. I thought I was waiting for you to do the week breakdown thing. I thought did I miss that or?
I just did the week breakdown.
Oh, I did. I only heard the Giants, Eagles, and then some shit, and then I didn't hear like any other football games reference.
Yeah, you were not paying attention because I definitely talked about every game right then and there. So you're good though.
Fuck me, I guess. Well, the Bears win was awesome. I agree.
So I have.
I really thought I would have heard something about the Bears, but okay.
I have a new kind of schedule that I do where Monday and usually Thursday after work I go to the gym and work out. And I usually am at one of the bikes that is right in front of the TV that is showing ESPN. So Monday night I'm streaming the game and I can watch 5 seconds sooner up on the TV. I just can't hear it. And I'm watching that final drive, hoping Commanders make a stop. And I'm not paying attention, and I look up for some dumb reason, and I see the Bears celebrating after making that field goal. I'm like, oh darn it! But yeah, no. Again, that was one of those crazy game-ending drives that led to a win. Obviously, really bad play by Jaden Daniels that we won't talk about. It's weird how I'm rooting for one of my rival teams, but it happens. It's the world of predictions because I definitely had nothing fantasy football wise going on in that game. But no, as far as our predictions went, Tato, you did good, and Jeremy did good, so we got to give them that, right? You finished with the 10-5 record. Jeremy also finished with the 10-5 record. I was a little bit behind at 7-8, which means, Tato, you regained your lead. I tied it up. You got your lead back. You're currently sitting at 55-38. I'm at 52-41. So you did get a little 3-game lead. Jeremy hit 67% accuracy. So he is in third right now. Jay is still in the lead at 75%. Chris Perkins at 69, Jeremy obviously at 67, and then we have Brandon Cohen at 56, and then my lovely wife Kayla at 36. So we will see how that goes the rest of this week or the rest of this year. The rest of this week, maybe we'll see. I'll give him a couple more minutes. I see that our celebrity guest picker has read the message in which I shared the stream, but has not actually popped up on the stream. So Tato, any other thoughts of last week? I'll give him a little bit more.
There we go.
Here we go. We hear him. I guess Tato has no thoughts. So I will go ahead and introduce our celebrity guest picker. You have seen him in several different leagues. He just won a game in Lights Out Trivia. I don't remember if it was a barn burner or not, but it doesn't matter. He is part of the secret tunnel. I guess he's the cuck of the secret tunnel. He is Sinister Alec Miller. Alec, how's it going?
It was all right until that last comment.
I knew I'd get you there.
No, thank you for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here. Talk some football. Football.
Okay, football.
I know your team did not play last week, but I feel that you're still one of those who enjoys the game. Any thoughts of last week's games?
Probably my thoughts on the whole, like, kind of just the league this year is it's going to be a fun season. Everyone's kind of, teams that you think are going to be great, kind of being meh. Teams that you think are going to be kind of meh. Like, I was not a believer in the Patriots. Now all of a sudden I'm looking pretty dumb. I didn't believe in Daniel Jones, and I'm looking pretty dumb. So, that's always a good time. But it's been some good football, some pretty bad football. Whoever had to watch that last London game, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's looking more like I think how I think of like how the basketball season was last year, where there's a lot more parity. Like you never know what's gonna happen, which kind of it's fun. Makes it a lot more fun to watch week by week.
Absolutely. Currently, our AFC division leaders are the Patriots, the Steelers, the Colts, and the Chargers. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2006 all over again.
Like, geez, man. And then the Steelers are like, well, what's their record? They're like
4-1.
4-1, but it's the softest 4-1 you could have. And then you have, like I said, the Colts. Like it's one of those years where I'm like, as a Texans fan, I'm really disappointed because this was supposed to be that year where you're supposed to create that dominance, and then you just start off the way you start. It's frustrating. Like I said, Drake May having the game that he had against Buffalo was fantastic, and I'm a believer. You do it once, great. Do it twice is now I'm paying attention. So Drake May doing it again against them. Again, it's the Saints, but still, like it's all about how you look. I think when you're a young quarterback like that, and then the Chargers. I mean, it's kind of just a matter of time before the Chiefs take back over, considering the Chargers are just wrecked with injuries. But yeah, it's fun season.
So Tato will occasionally mute himself because a train appears. Papa will occasionally mute himself because he forgets to turn off his heater, which is legitimately right next to him, and no one wants to hear that loud thing going on. But thankfully, I shut it off, so that will not be interrupting us for the rest of tonight. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty crazy year this year. We'll definitely have to see how the rest of it pops out. But we're only worried about this week, so let's get into predictions. Tato, Alec, are y'all ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. We have some exciting games this week, and our first exciting game, I will say, it's been coined the Icy Hot Bowl, as the Steelers travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Both starting quarterbacks are over the age of 40. This is, I believe, the third time this two quarterbacks above the age of 40 is happening. And the other two times was Drew Brees and Tom Brady. So it's going to be history, guys. But no, Steelers taking on the Bengals. Aaron Rodgers taking on Joe Flacco. The Steelers have a 4.5-point lead, or a 4.5-point is the spread on there. They're favorites. I got to act like I've done this before, guys. I'm sorry. Newbie here. I will go first on here. I definitely see this being a trap game for Pittsburgh because it's in Cincinnati, and it's a Thursday game, and teams always struggle on the Thursday game. But I do see the Bengals are struggling with some injuries, namely Trey Hendrickson is questionable. I know there are a couple other of their big players listed as questionable, and the Steelers are pretty healthy right now. And that being said, I do also trust the Steelers defense just a little bit more than I trust the Bengals defense. And I definitely trust the Steelers defense way more than I trust that Bengals offensive line. I am going to give the edge to the Steelers here. Tato, who is your pick?
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh. That defense starting to click, and Bengals are not playing good football.
No.
All right, and then Alec, who is your pick to win the game?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it pretty simple, too. I'm going to go the Steelers as well. Just Tomlin, I guess I'll say. Tomlin will have that defense up clicking. Joe Flacco's going to have a hard time with TJ Watt and crew. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Steelers. Granted, it is Thursday. Like I said, Thursday games are weird. I had to tell my son that this past week when the Giants and the Eagles, because we both had the Eagles. But I'm like, Thursday games are weird. So.
Thursday games and division games. You never know with those. You know what else are weird games? London games. I believe this is the last London game as the Rams are taking on the Jaguars. Tato, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
We will go with the Rams here. I think could be. I think it'll be a tight booty game, as you mentioned. London games are weird AF, and the Jags do kind of tend to have the hypothetical home field advantage over there. But I still think Matthew Stafford just kind of gets it done.
All right, and Alec, who's your pick on this one?
Yeah, not biased at all. I will go with the Rams also, but I'm just not a believer in Trevor Lawrence. I have never been a believer in Trevor Lawrence. Granted, the defense with the Jaguars, they give up a lot of passing yards, but they have a lot of turnovers. They get a lot of picks, so that could be a problem too. But I'm still gonna go. I'll pick Matty Stafford over Trevor Lawrence. Just not a fan of him.
All right. And I don't know if I said earlier, but the Rams are 3.5-point favorites. If I said it already there, I'm saying it again. No, again, this is one I went back and forth on. Puka is still questionable. Also questionable is Tutu Atwell. So the Rams are going to have like 5th and 6th string wide receivers in this game. But also we're talking about the Jags defense, who's been a turnover machine. Their main turnover machine, Devin Lloyd, is injured and will be missing this game. He is out. And so I think that was the injury that really put me in favor of the Rams. Because, again, I see it very, very close, but I am giving a very slight edge to the Rams as well because I trust Matt Stafford more than I trust Trevor Lawrence. Next, moving on to the 1 o'clock games. First one we'll talk about is the Eagles traveling to to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Eagles are 1.5-point favorites. Since this is my team, I will start, and I need the Eagles to win. I need it to happen. I want it to happen, and I trust that it will happen. But for some reason, I wrote down the Vikings, and I just feel it that things are going to get a little worse for the Eagles before it gets better. It'll hopefully get better, though, right? It has to. Mainly getting rid of Kevin Patullo, or not even getting rid of him, just changing up play calling. Make Nick Sirianni call plays. I don't know. Make Jalen Hurts call plays. Make him lead that offense. Something, right? Right. But it's going to get worse. And I do give a slight edge to the Vikings here. Alec, I'm going to go to you next on this one. Who is your pick?
This one's tough because, yeah, they're something's and this I think this happens every year with the Eagles. Kind of like they just kind of hit a patch where you're like, what's wrong with the Eagles? And then they end up in the playoffs and playing in the Super Bowl and all that. But why are they not giving the ball to Saquon? Like, that's the weird thing to me is I don't know if if other teams have figured out the offense of like, okay, you stop Saquon, you stop the offense, and make Jalen throw the ball, which I don't think Jalen can throw the ball. But I don't think they can do 3 in a row. 3 losses in a row is a lot. So I'm gonna go the Eagles. Eagles. I do think minus 1.5?
1.5, yep.
That's definitely bulletin board material for the Eagles defense. Step up and make a play. JJ McCarr, or no, is JJ playing? I don't even know if JJ's playing.
It's not known.
He's still questionable. Yeah.
If JJ's playing, the dude looks terrified when he's out there. I don't remember who their backup is.
Carson Wentz, who is also questionable to play in this game with his shoulder injury.
Yeah, we have no fucking idea who's playing.
Yes.
Is Jalen playing? Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter is also questionable. As far as injuries go, everyone who missed last week for the Eagles is still listed as questionable. With Carter, lineman Eric Dickerson, and somebody else was out. I don't remember who. Obviously not an important player. Oh, Quinyon. He missed the game, or he left the game early. He's also questionable. But a lot of injuries in that game.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Eagles. I just think 3 losses in a row would be excessive.
All right. And then Tato, who is your pick on this one?
Papa, you remember when you didn't have a beard?
Yeah. Dark times in my past.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Anyway, I'm gonna go Eagles here.
Okay.
they're like that was totally irrelevant to the conversation I had.
I was waiting for.
No,
I was waiting for.
nope.
No, I thought you were going to go like you picking the Vikings is still more surprising than you popping up on stream beardless. Like my joke of Mark Sanchez with all the stuff going on with him in this past. He's just trying to have something worse than the butt fumble. Still not as worse as the butt fumble, though. All right, next game we have the Raiders traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites. Alec, we are going to go to you first on this one.
I'm going Chiefs. Gino looks lost. Gino looks like he doesn't belong in the NFL anymore. I might even take the points with the Chiefs, and that's a lot of points.
I will go next. Still one of my favorite moments in all of sports history, I believe happened in like week 3 or week 4 of this year when the Raiders had that Monday night game against the Chargers. Very first drive, whoever's announcing it or commentating is like, Geno Smith is a very accurate quarterback. Very next play, he throws an interception. Great moments. But yeah, no, you're right. The Raiders look great in week 1 and have looked horrible since. The only reason they won last week is because they played an even worse team in the Titans. Because, yes, you can be worse than the Raiders. The Chiefs are starting to click. I believe this is Rashee Rice's first game back from his suspension. So really should be a Chiefs team clicking on all cylinders. And, yeah, it might be a 40-point win. We'll see, though. I also have the Chiefs. Tato, finish this one out.
Casey-Mo, roll.
All right, next we have the Dolphins traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. I'll go first on this one. This is the only game I actually wrote down one team and then scratched them out and put down the other. There were definitely some other times where I went back and forth on this one. The Dolphins have been playing a lot better in these last couple weeks. Just again, some final drives have kind of fallen apart for them to keep them from getting the win. And then the Browns are also that weird. Kind of been playing decently. I think Dylan Gabriel has been playing relatively smart football. I'm not going to say good football by any means, but relatively smart. I've seen a couple really good plays from him. So really what I think this comes down to is the defense. And I mean, I can name one player on the Browns who's actually playing good. I can name several players on the Dolphins defense because I just looked at their depth chart. But if you like in the middle of a game, they're not there. That defense is non-existent basically. And I think Myles Garrett screws Tua up enough that I think the Browns get the win in this true lights out. Tato, what's the line?
Banger.
I've said it like 3 times and I completely blanked.
Yeah, you've been saying barn burner, but it's a banger.
Yeah.
We got another banger here in last
A true lights out banger is going to be the Cleveland Browns beating the Dolphins. Tato, who's your pick on this one?
I will actually take Miami on this one. I like Coach McDaniel. People have been pretty hard on him reasonably lately, I think. But I hope he turns it around and, sticks around. And, because if he loses this one and then, he's probably one of those guys that could be on a hot seat type situation, as you mentioned.
I have to give him credit, though. I thought he was going to be the first coach fired this year. Congrats. Alec, who is your pick on this one?
I think when your quarterback tells everybody your ass, you're probably the first coach to go. But no, I'm gonna go probably because of the fact that Tua is consistently just like proving to just like not to make sense. Like you're telling Cam Newton like, oh, it's different. You don't know when you don't play the position. I'm like, bro, do you not realize this guy's a former MVP? And then the comment about the players' meetings, and it just doesn't make sense when your team doesn't respect you as a quarterback. It's hard for me to think you're going to go out there and get wins. And I'm looking right here on Bleacher Report. I don't know if this is true, but the Browns are actually third in yards per game allowed. So the defense is doing something. Besides, hopefully Dylan Gabriel doesn't throw any hospital balls like he was doing last week. But I'll go with the Browns. I think he holds off. Able to keep that job a little bit longer. Hold off. Well, who's the quarterback behind him? Shadir's not playing at all. So
it's Bailey Zappi. Zappi, second string quarterback.
Yeah, it's that time because Shadir's never going to see the field this year unless the Raiders go get him. I think they should.
To somewhat defend Tua though, when Tua and Cam Newton played each other, Cam Newton's stat line was like 75 yards passing. So he probably didn't know that Cam Newton was actually a former MVP. He's also probably had some traumatic head injuries.
Yeah,
that's made him forget most of his past. But next we have the Patriots traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Again, this is Mike McCoy's first game as interim head coach for the Tennessee Titans. I was hoping to make a Tennessee Titans joke there. Tato, we're going to go with you first. Who's your pick on this one?
I will go with Meet Joe Black. Brad Pitt talking in a Jamaican patriot accent. I don't know, man. That was a stretch. I'm sorry.
It was. I thought my references have been bad.
I feel bad for anyone who had to hear that.
Yeah. Don't worry. We lost our one viewer, so. All right, Alec, who is your pick on this one?
Patriots. Like I said earlier, I really like Drake May and the way he's playing. Cam Ward is fun to watch, but they can't get more than, I'm looking right here. They average not even 2 touchdowns a game. So I'll go Patriots. And also, you fire your coach in the middle of the season, just trying to get that number 1 pick.
Well, there is always that one weird game right after you fire a head coach that your team's just on fire, and you get that miraculous win. It happens about 50% of the time. And I didn't really think much about this game because it's Mike Vrabel, one of the greatest coaches right now, in my opinion, and Drake May, who's been looking phenomenal. His connections with Stephon Diggs, we're finally seeing what that duo can be. And hey, Ramondre Stevenson, nobody thought he was going to be a great rusher this season. We thought he was going to be like third string. No, he's their starter still because they still don't give that rookie a chance. I give the Patriots the edge here as well. Next game, we have the Panthers traveling to New Jersey to take on the Jets. Panthers are 1.5-point favorites. Alec, we will have you start us off with this one.
Buy that Bryce Young stock. It's low. Buy it now. It's starting to rise. They've been playing great. Rico Dowdle having like a monster streak. See if he keeps that going. And the Jets. The Jets do Jets things. Aaron Glenn still will not bench Justin Fields for some strange reason. So I'm going to go Panthers. Panthers are going to be over 500 for the first time in who knows how long.
It's been a couple years. I have been very high on the Panthers this year too, and they have let me down a lot this year. They didn't let me down last week, though, that's for sure. They did exactly what I wanted them to do, but I didn't pick it. Shucks, guys. But that being said, there has been one thing ringing true basically all year, and that is that the Panthers play very well at home, and they have looked absolutely horrible on the road. The Jets are one of those weird teams because they haven't won a game, but every game except for one has been close. Every game except for one has been winnable. And they finally got a turnover last week and a safety. So they're no longer on the zero turnover bus. I think magic happens this week. I am picking the Jets. Record this now because it will probably never happen again. Tato, who's your pick here?
I'll take the Panthers.
And with that, based on last week's games, congratulations, Panthers, on your win. Next, we have the Saints traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. Tato, we're going to start with you because it's your team, and that's the way the rotation went. Well, that's not the way the rotation went, but...
Yeah, we got bushels of potatoes. With that said, I am going to take the Bears here for obvious reasons, because they're favored to win by a significant margin.
4.5.
That said, I have a feeling this game will make me sweat more than it should.
Let's say it's a good thing you will be watching moments of this on your lunch break instead of the whole game start to finish.
That is an excellent point.
Alec, who is your pick to win this game?
Yeah, going into the season, the Saints are my pick to get the number one pick. So I'm gonna, and they haven't really shown me that anything differently. So I'm gonna go Bears here. Keep that momentum going for Caleb Williams.
I will say I'm very surprised with the Saints because while I wasn't expecting them to win a lot of games at this point of the year, they've kept most every game pretty close, except for the Giants game, which they blew the Giants out of the water. So I'm gonna say the Saints cover, but I do have the Bears winning this game, but probably by 3 or 2 or maybe 4. We'll see. Next we have
to predict 25-24.
Yeah, that's could be that. They have Jake Moody right now. He's a crazy kicker. So crazy. The 49ers don't want him.
He looked so scared taking that final kick.
He did. All right. Next, we have the first of our 4 o'clock games. 4:05. The Colts are traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. Alec, I'll start with you. Who is your pick in this one?
With my luck, the Colts are going to win. So maybe if I pick them, they'll lose. So I'll go Colts.
All right, I will go next. The Chargers barely beat the Dolphins last week. Again, great interception, very last drive to hold off from that game-winning drive by Tua. They are really hurting on their offensive line with injuries. They definitely felt it last week. And they're playing a much better defense this week. The Colts have been one of those surprising teams that defense is stopping everybody right now, except for the Cardinals. That was weird. But also, Chargers have kind of struggled on the run. And Jonathan Taylor is one of the favorites to win Offensive Player of the Year this year. Maybe MVP. We'll see how they do at the end of the year. But I think the Colts get the edge. Tato saying no is probably not going to happen. Probably not, but one can hope, right?
Yes. Quarterback award.
I hope. But no, I do think – but can you imagine Daniel Jones MVP? I can't. I do also have the Colts getting the win here. Tato, we're moving on to you. Who's your pick on this one?
I am actually going to stick with Los Angeles again here. I'm going to chalk this one up to a Harbaugh getting it done.
That's a smart move. Those Harbaughs get it done most of the time. Next,
for the Colts, though. I think if they can win this one, they're for real.
Yeah. Our next 4:05 game, we have the Giants traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos are 7.5-point favorites, and I feel weird saying this, but I really like Cam Scatabo and Jackson Dart. When they were talking about Jackson Dart's face paint, and he does that because of Anakin Skywalker, I'm like, why do I like this guy so much? Why'd they have to say that? Because now I want to be a Giants fan. And then I immediately threw up because why would anybody say those words ever? And it pains me that the Giants are doing good. But I only have to wait like 2 years because Dable is going to ruin Jackson Dart's potential completely. And Cam Scatterbo is going to have to retire probably in the next like 3 or 4 weeks due to concussion-related injuries. I do like this Broncos defense. I think they're able to tackle Cam where the Eagles were struggling. I have the Broncos barely. Tato, who's your pick?
Yes, I will also stick with Denver, running in the theme of the places I have been in getting picked by me.
All right, and Alec, who is your pick?
I'm gonna go Giants. I like Jackson Dart, and he turned me around because once I saw he couldn't do a cadence, a snap count. It really made me think he couldn't play, but he's impressed me. If they had neighbors, man, this would be a fun team to watch. Broncos look great one week, look boring the next week. Something's wrong there. I'm gonna go Giants. Scatterbo does not get concussed this week. He probably will next week, or he'll probably just like headbutt after he scores a touchdown. Just headbutt the goalpost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Giants with the upset.
All right. Next, we have the 4:25 game. Packers are traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Packers are 6.5-point favorites. Tato, we go to you first.
Packers. I don't wanna.
All right, and Alec.
I'm gonna go Packers. This is a fun offense to watch. And Packers are my pick to win the NFC this year, so I'm gonna go Packers.
All right, I will finish this one off, and let's make it a trifecta. I am going with the Packers as well, for no real reason other than
this will be a good one for the Cardinals to run.
Exactly. Our final
touchdowns.
Our final afternoon game, we have the Commanders traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Commanders are 1.5-point favorites. Alec, we go to you first. Who is your pick here?
I hate the Cowboys with a burning passion.
Me too.
I'm gonna go Commanders. Jaden's gonna have a chip on his shoulder this week. Jaden's gonna have a chip on his shoulder this week, giving the game away, basically. So I think they're gonna do good, and they can't stop the run. So just let Jaden run it. The Cowboys can't stop the run because they gave away
my
defensive players.
Yeah. Imagine if they had somebody like Micah Parsons on their team. Not a great run stopper, but at least like rushing the passer, game changer. No, Alec, I knew I liked you for a reason. You remember how the Cowboys weren't winning at home because they played a lot of those 4:00 games, and the end zone that they were always trying to score on had the great big ball of fire blocking their view. Like, why not just instead of east to west, make it north to south? You don't run into that issue.
Jerry can't have it shine on him when he's standing a certain spot.
It's true. Yeah, he's not like the Miami Dolphins and their great home field advantage. I think Terry McLaurin is playing. I famously said Ed Oliver was going to play every single game, and he kept missing every game. Finally showed up last week, so I was finally right. I don't think I ever said he was going to play, though, which is the bad thing. But Terry might be coming back this week, and if he is, watch out. Also, Cowboys can't stop the run. And they have Bill, whatever his name is, and Jane Daniels who can run. I have the Commanders getting the win here. Tato will finish us out.
I will also go with Washington on this one. I'm going to agree that Jaden is going to be quite fired up on this situation.
All right. Next, we have Sunday Night Football. The Falcons are traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 49ers are 2.5-point favorites, but they will be without star defensive player Fred Warner, who is out for the season. I'm going first here. This is another one I went back and forth on because the 49ers are that weird team where they play great no matter who's on the field. It's like they get a random Girl Scout to play quarterback, and she throws for 800 yards and 3 touchdowns.
God damn you, Bernice!
But also the Falcons are kind of that weird team where nobody expects them to do anything, and they're beating the Bills. That being said, though, I do think losing Fred Warner is really going to hurt the 49ers, and I think this game will be close. But just because Bijan is unstoppable, basically, I'm giving a slight edge to the Falcons. Tato, who is your pick?
I got Niners. I think the Falcons may have used a little too much Magic last week.
All right, and Alec, finish us out.
Yeah, the Falcons seem to have like a great game, bad game, great game, bad game. They had a great game this past week, but I was leaning towards 49ers until you reminded me of the Fred Warner injury. It's probably be another Bijan big game. So I'm gonna go Falcons. Why not? Mac Jones turns back into Mac Jones.
It could happen.
McCorkle Jones.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have Monday Night Football. We have another 2-game Monday. Our first game, the Buccaneers are traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions are 5.5-point favorites. Tato, tell us why the Lions are the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, it's hard to argue, man. They're pretty fucking good at football. The coach is good. Quarterback works. Good offense, good defense. Baker still pretty much playing MVP football. This is a really good football game. I'm gonna take Detroit on the home tip.
All right, and Alec. I'm gonna go with the current MVP, which is Baker, because Baker's been playing lights out football. I'm gonna go Baker. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know what the status is on most of his receivers, but he lost basically all his receivers last week, and still, played great. So I'm gonna go Bucks.
I do think Emeka Egbuka is out for this game. I could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot on this show. I've
been wrong for sure suspended though
today. But yeah, no. Lions are going to be without safety Brian Branch, who is suspended this game. And yeah, most of the Buccaneers wide receiver room is injured and is listed as questionable so far. It's crazy to believe this game is for like leader of the NFC. Whoever wins this is the favorite for the number 1 seed. It's way too soon to actually crown it, but they're at least the favorite. And well, yes, losing Brian Branch is huge for the Lions. I mean, come on, the guy doesn't want to shake hands at the end of the game. Does that mean we have to fight about it? Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's Juju. I think a lot of people have been waiting to do that to Juju.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Well, no, Mahomes grabbed his forearm because he wouldn't shake his hand. And when he pushed him off, then Juju came and then punches were thrown.
Yeah, at least he had the sense not to fucking hit Patrick.
Yeah, if he would have been Patty, he would have been out for the season.
Yes.
Yeah.
So justice for Brian Branch. Just get rid of the Chiefs because they're a bunch of cheaters right now. I am giving a slight edge to the Lions just because I know the status of most of their offensive weapons. I don't know the status of most of Tampa Bay's offensive weapons right now. But no, it's going to be a very fun, exciting game. And I think primetime Jared Goff gets magical Monday night. Which leads us to our final game of the week and our final Monday Night Football game, and probably the game I'll be watching as I am on the bike working out Monday after work. We have the Houston Texans traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites. Alec, your favorite team's in this game.
Yeah.
Who's your pick?
This is tough because we played two really bad teams before going to the bye. So it looked good, but it was the Titans, and it was the Ravens with basically the way someone described it. The injury report was like Bible scripture because of how many names and just like the amount of injuries there were. They looked like a Bible verse or something. So the Seahawks are playing really good football. Sam Darnold looks good. I believe in this defense though, and I'm gonna say we go in there after having a week off, and we silence the 12th man. Also, I
last week, brother.
I need to get on my shit talk against Jay. I haven't been doing it lately, but I need to.
Absolutely, you do. I'm going to echo a lot of your sentiments. While yes, they weren't the best quality wins, they were wins, and they were really good wins. You blew out the Titans. Most everyone can do that. You blew out the Ravens, which has been
never done. We've never beaten the Ravens. That was our first time beating them, which is crazy.
That is crazy. But no, you blew out the Ravens, which has been actually very consistent this year, which is crazy. You were able to stop Derrick Henry. That says something. But one thing too is 2 wins is a huge confidence boost, especially going into the bye week, getting rested up. I will also go with the Texans here. And Tato, who's your pick?
I am going to stick conventional on this one. I will take the Seahawks. Like I said, the last couple weeks, Sam Darnold is fucking 23-3 in his last few games. Like, I don't know.
Let's give some respect to JSN too, because JSN's been balling.
JSN playing OPOI football for sure. Him and Puka, both bananas up there on the West Coast.
All right. Well, that has been our picks. Again, me and Tato. Tato has a 3-game lead ahead, so we'll see how that fares because we do have several differences in this week. And Alec is playing against everybody else, trying to beat Jay's 75% accuracy. But in the comments, tell me who is your team that's definitely going to win this week. And throw in player that is going to get traded. What's the big trade that happens in the next couple of weeks? Also, if you like energy drinks, scan that QR code that just popped up in Tato's corner. W.GG, promo code Papa TMG. Get you 10% off your order. And if you like live streams, try out StreamYard. There's a link below to get $25 off your first month. And make smart choices. Or don't. I don't care. Not your dad. But I could be your papa.